This is ATL Day Ones, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta. And it starts now.
Welcome into ATL Day Ones. I am Tenitra Batiste, and your other co-host, Jarvis Davis, is not with us today, but guess who is back? Maria Martin, our amazing 11 Alive anchor, sports anchor over at WXIA, or 11 Alive, if you will. So thanks for dropping in again today, because I know you got some great nuggets to share with us, because we have a great show for you guys. And as always, thank you so much for stopping by, not just today, but every day, because we're up to 2,000 subscribers. So we know that you are rocking with us really great, really hard here on the Locked On Atlanta Sports Network. Also, thank you guys for checking us out wherever you check out your podcast on audio platforms. Continue giving us 5-star reviews when we bring you 5-star guest hosts. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Now, we're 5-star on this show. The 5-star outing at Truist Park last night, game 2, not so much. Now, Maria, game 1 of this series against the Giants for the Braves, 2 runs was all it took. Last night, game 2, 10 runs, not enough. No, not enough. They take the L, 12-2. Unfortunately for the Braves, they fall and they lose. That 8-game home winning streak was snapped last night.
Yeah, I know. I really hated that they lost that winning streak at home, especially because Truist Park is one of the best attended baseball parks in Major League Baseball. They're in 3rd right now. So I think that was probably the worst part to me. And also, you got 4 home runs in the game, and that wasn't enough. This is an offensive lineup for the Braves that has a lot of firepower, and they showed that last night. It's just the Giants had a little bit more, and we'll get into some pitching woes for the Braves. Unfortunate that 4 home runs couldn't do it for the Braves. And some of the guys that stepped up that we'll talk about was exciting to see as well.
Absolutely. And yeah, definitely stick around with us for the deep dive, where we're going to dig deeper into that 12-10 loss by the Braves last night. But again, because there were some positives that we'll talk about. Unfortunately, it was not Spencer Strider with a positive or living his best life last night, unlike his start just last week. Got rocked in only 3 innings. Location was just not there. The velocity was down. It was just one of those nights, Maria, where even Strider talked about ahead of the game that he kind of knew, he kind of felt that he didn't quite have his stuff, wasn't quite there with that same feeling that he had in a really, really nice outing against the Nats last week. So maybe a little mental and physical fatigue, maybe growing pains, just, going from being more in that position as a part of the bullpen, coming out of the bullpen versus maybe being in the starting rotation.
Yeah, I think I'm going to quote Braves manager Brian Snitker and say it's just baseball. Sometimes these guys have that. Then yesterday, Spencer Strider, who's only 23 years old, actually showed us that he can have a bad outing. He's been so impressive so far this year. Coming into the game last night, he was sitting at a 2.45 ERA, and he's a part of that 3-headed monster that the Braves have in their starting pitching arsenal. Yeah, you mentioned the velocity was down. He also said that, it's one of those things where he has to learn how to attack situations like what happened last night. He was getting behind in his pitch counts. The Giants were attacking him in all phases of the game last night. Yeah. So he even admitted after the game, he's got to learn how to control those situations a little bit better. So it's good that he was able to be put up against that at this point in the season. He can learn, he can grow. It's unfortunate that we saw him falter last night, but look, I have all the confidence in the world in Spencer Strider. I love what I've seen from the mustache so far. I don't even know his nickname, but that's what we're going to call him today. I do have a lot of confidence in Spencer, and it's good for him to get experience against a lineup like the Giants, because they were all over him last night, and the Dodgers, who he will theoretically face again this weekend, they're not going to let up either.
Right. And it kind of reminded me of what we saw with a Kyle Wright, if you will, where it kind of took him a while to find his stride. And now we've really seen that for the most part, not just his stride in being able to have long outings, but also if he gets rocked early, he's shown us a tendency to bounce back. And that sometimes just comes with experience. And so when you look at Spencer Strider still very early in his career, not just in Major League Baseball, but also in that starting space, I think that, like you said, he was very reflective after the game. And so that showed me some positive signs for him in terms of the mental aspect. We all already saw last week that he's adding to his arsenal. So as the mental begins to catch up with the physical, I think he's going to be perfectly okay. And I think the Braves are going to be fine, just like Ronald Acuna Jr. showed us. Oh, he's good. He's fine as well. So Ronald Acuna Jr., he hit, okay, we're now accustomed to seeing him hit the chili, right? But third base off of that monster 409-foot hit to left field, he hits us with a little bit of a Euro step. I'm loving it. I'm loving it, if you will, because, hey, it's his first home run in a minute. And like you said, Truist Park is an experience. And Ronald Acuna, even in a 12-10 loss, even in taking that L, still gave us a show.
Yeah, and that's what you expect from Ronald Acuna Jr., even though he's been pretty cold lately. I mean, he entered this game 4 for 24 in his last 8 games, and this was his first extra base hit since June 11th. It's been a long time. And so you expect when Acuna steps up to the plate for him to rate consistently. They're never going to take him out of that leadoff spot. He should stay there really until he retires, is my opinion. But I really think that it was good to see him get that confidence back, and he can see the ball well. We know that. It's just sometimes guys have streaks in baseball, high or low, and he's been on that tear. The 4 for 24 is not great, but seeing him get that confidence again, and it's electric. Every time, if you've been in the building when Acuna hits something like that, it is like, I can't even describe it. You got to go to see it.
You got to see it for yourself.
Do dance moves, and I freaking love it. It's the best.
Oh, yeah, you absolutely have to see it. And it's also good when he puts a complete game together as well. So to see him have a couple of assists last night, the second game in his career, to see him do that, it's always good when he is clicking on all cylinders at the plate and in the outfield. So had a great game from him last night. Not such a good outing in the return from the COVID list for Colin McHugh last night. He got roughed up as well, and that really was the dagger, if you will, in that game last night. But hopefully he will bounce back for the Braves, and hopefully the Braves will bounce back tonight under Charlie Morton being on the mound for them in Game 3. Now, you want to talk about some bounce back? Let's talk about the Atlanta Dream, who got it done last night. You know, they were riding, unfortunately, a 4-game losing streak and really just kind of looking to get back in the win column. And who better to do it against than the Wings, whom they'd also beaten in the season opener. But it was not only just a good win for the Dream, 80-75, the final. It got them back to 500, got them to 8-8, which, Maria, we know 8 games is what they won in the totality of the 2021 season. So to see them get that done at virtually the midpoint of this season, I think is really a testament to what Tanisha Wright is out there doing, but also an opportunity for Maya Caldwell, former Lady Dog, to shine last night. She was called up on a hardship contract after you and I had an opportunity to speak with her in training camp, saw her unfortunately get cut, and now to see her lead them with 18 points in that win last night. Good look for Maya Caldwell.
Yeah, for sure. 18 points, 4 assists, and 2 steals from her. I loved watching her shine because if you've ever talked to Maya Caldwell, she's humble. She's been hungry for that moment for a really long time because she really thought she was going to get that opportunity in Indianapolis. And that didn't work out. She had to go overseas for a while. And she even admitted to you and I, Tanitra, whenever she was initially drafted in Indianapolis, that I wasn't ready. And I thought that was really honest. And I thought that was great because she's learned from that. She clearly proved that last night she is ready and she can be a big contributor on the Dream, a team that's learning, a team that's going through some growing pains and trying to figure out the identity of this basketball team. I also thought it was really nice to see Ryan Howard shine a little bit last night. She's been cooled off ever since the beginning. And that comes with being a rookie in the WNBA as well, finding your stride, figuring out that every single night it's not going to be the Ryan Howard show. So to see her get some moments and to get some really meaningful buckets as well is great. But I'm glad Maya Caldwell is here. I think she's going to do great things for the Dream. And the fact that she's a Bulldog too, that makes it even better.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love what we saw from her last night. And like you said, Ryan Howard understanding the game, because at the end of the day, it's really important for her to know that, hey, look, if the shot's not falling, you can get what you need on the defensive side or get others involved as well. And so she's really understanding the importance. But that goes back to Tanisha Wright, the importance of playing a complete game. Two-way play is critical. It's something that Tanisha preaches over and over again, day in, day out. We saw it from day one of training camp and really seeing that message come to fruition across the entire board. Ari McDonald, also somebody who is really, really finding her stride. I think that just with injuries and just maybe coaches not understanding how to utilize her in the dream system. Last year season wasn't the greatest, but this year Tanisha Wright has figured out how to use Ari McDonald at the highest level, and we're seeing a lot of good things out of her, including some good play last night. And speaking of what we will see and what we won't see and what we may see, the Brooks Koepka Live Series, all that saga continues. And you had an opportunity to sit down with the Champ Tour Executive Director Alex Urban to talk, of course, about the Tour Championship that's coming here to East Lake in a couple of months. Gosh, just less than 2 months away. Time is just flying. But also you had an opportunity to ask him about his thoughts on Koepka, the Live Series. And it seems that, hey, Tour says they're unbothered.
Yeah, they're pretty much unbothered is what he said. And obviously he's not going to give me anything very spicy compared to what we're seeing in golf right now. But he said that one of the things is that he knows, everybody knows that the Tour Championship is at the end of the season. It puts a bow on the PGA Tour schedule. It is the FedEx Cup standings. The best 30 players will compete for that trophy. And so he knows that in his opinion, the 30 best that are available will be playing. And he still thinks that that's meaningful. And of course, he's going to say that he works for the PGA Tour. He said that he's not really concerned because Scottie Scheffler is having an unbelievable year. He's at FedEx Cup point standings right now. We fully expect Scottie Scheffler to be either 1, 2, or 3 heading into the Tour Championship in August. And one thing I want to mention aside from the Live Tour is that the Tour Championship here at East Lake in Georgia is back in August. And for the last 2 years, because of COVID, it's been in September.
Right. September.
They hate that. That dips into the football schedule. So now everyone can get their Tour Championship in right before the Dogs start, the Falcons start, Georgia Tech starts, whoever you're here for, so you can get that Tour Championship in and then move forward. He did say that this is about the most dramatic thing we've seen in golf since the Tiger Woods saga went down a couple of years ago. It's interesting. Golfers tweet out different shots at different people. You're seeing people throw people under the bus. It's like reality TV that we've never
right.
So but I'm really entertained, so I can't say I hate it. Yeah, he was pretty buttoned up, but he did say that the PGA Tour is not concerned with what's going on right now, which is interesting.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And interesting to us because we talked about that. Even Colin Morikawa's tweet, we're talking about cereal, and it's like literally this is starting to be appointment television. It's crazy, right? But what is not crazy is what we see out of the Braves and what we've seen despite the loss last night, the 12-10 loss. It's all good because we feel like the Braves are going to bounce back, and they've been showing us still a lot of good, but we admit there's been a little bit of bad or a little bit of ugly. And so we'll talk about that in the deep dive, unless, and you guys have probably heard my phone blowing up because, hey, it's 24 hours out from the NBA draft. And we're getting all sorts of messages, and we got our phones, Maria and I, right here listening to see if there's any buzz or any word on the street about the Hawks. So if there is, of course, we're going to keep you posted. But in the meantime, we are going to talk Braves on the other side. So come back and join us right here on ATL Day Ones.